right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of April. And I know you've noticed a little bit of a lull in the schedule here in our tastings. And right around spring break, we go away with the kids. So, hey, we're back. And in April, we have got a lot of killer events coming up, including this one, which you Cabernet Sauvignon lovers or California red wine lovers should be totally into this. And this is a winery that burst onto the scene with the 1998 vintage. And this was the Jackson family's crown jewel, supposed to be the greatest Merlot produced in the state of California. And these guys, the very first vintage, 98, remember they rolled it out alongside Chateau Petrus. They were doing tastings blind against this new wine from Napa and Sonoma from some of the best micro cru vineyards that the Jackson family owned. And blind, this wine bested Chateau Petrus. Well, maybe not fair. You know, the young Bordeaux's don't show quite as well as the young California wines, but Jess Jackson and family were on to something. His new winemaker, Pierre Celan from Bordeaux, was hired just for this project, and he's now working with them also with Chateau Le Seigue and with their project in Tuscany as well, which the Prima Voce, excellent little value we had in the store, that 2006. I still remember that wine. What a great little value. And making great wines all over the world today, the Jackson family of fine wines, and this Verite, 7 100-point scores from Robert Parker Jr., immediately catapulting it among one of the cult wines of California, and the most expensive wine made in Sonoma now, because it's no longer labeled Napa Sonoma. It's just from Sonoma, single cru vineyards that, like I said, the Jackson family's crown jewels in their Sonoma vineyards. So this is, to me, one of the greatest wines made in California, Napa or Sonoma, and there's 3 different blends. They've got the La Joie, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon-based wine, similar like a Pauillac. And then they have Le Limousse, which is a Pomerol-inspired blend. And then the Désir, which is fashioned after the great Cheval Blanc, a lot of Cabernet Franc in that blend. And all 3 of these wines, in any given vintage, can compete with the greatest wines made in the world. We have got the current release of these wines, the 2009 vintage, which is a lovely vintage from Northern California. The wine's very forward, very ripe, very appealing right now. And then we have got an older vintage for you, our wine drinking people, to show you, the 2002s. All 3 of these wines from both vintages will be showing on this evening. Of course, with a few small courses. You know, we don't like to plug these as dinners, but you're going to get pretty much dinner, and all of this for less than half of the price of 1 bottle of the current release of Verite. That's right, you get to try 6 different vintages. Heck, we may throw in the very first vintage. We got it here. Why not open it up and try it? You know, that's my MO, to drink the world's greatest wines. We have to sell a little bit to make it there, to be able to drink them, but we like this Verite wine a lot. Like I said, we've been on the bandwagon from day one, and happy to see him get the praise, but at the same time, it's a dual-edged sword. The price has gone up accordingly. These wines now in the $300 and up category. But for a winery that's got that many 100-point scores, maybe not that expensive. You have to look to the great Bordeaux's and the other wines of Napa Valley that get 100-point scores and multiple 100-point scores are over $500 a bottle. So a relative value when you look at its peers. Check it out and join us on Thursday, April 10th, where we're going to be showing 6 different wines from this landmark, benchmark Sonoma producer, Verite. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone, signing off from the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.